Hope you're doing all right, or at least I hope you're still here. Hope your week's been going good. Been a pretty good week so far on this end. I'll wait for a few more people to get in here to get the party started. You still here with me, Gabriel? Hadn't seen you in a while. I hope everything's all right on your end of the world. Been pretty hot over here. We got some rain the other day. I think it was Sunday night. We got some rain. It really didn't last that long, but hey, at least we got some rain. Or I think it was Monday. It was one of those days we got some rain and it didn't last very long. It rained probably about 20, 30 minutes. I hope it would. I was hoping it would have rained for a little bit longer, but hey, I'm glad we got what we got, though. Hey, Don, how are you? How Miss Fawn? I don't know why I said Don. How you doing, Miss Fawn? Hope everything's all right your way. Hey, at least when we're getting on live this time, there ain't no tornado warnings going on anywhere. I was just telling Gabriel if he was still here that we got some rain the other day that maybe lasted 30 minutes, and that was pretty much it. Wished it would have lasted a little longer, but the last couple of nights it ain't been really bad. It's been in the 60s for lows, which is a whole lot better than being in the 70s that it's been the last couple of weeks. Had my birthday yesterday. I was going to go live, then I ended up deciding not to, and just waited till the day to go live and talk to everybody. Oh, that's good to hear, Miss Fauna. I'm doing good over here. I went to work today, and nothing real exciting happened. Pretty much the only thing that really happened, I got there about 5:45, clocked in about. Oh, thank you, Miss Fawn. And I had to go out back of the store for something. I done forgot what it was now, but went back there and there was about 10 deer in that guy's pasture walking around. So that was pretty much the highlight of the day today. For whatever reason, we weren't too awful busy for it being a Friday. Guess everybody's either on vacation or waiting until this evening to come in. But I didn't really do nothing special for my birthday. I had the paid day off, so I pretty much just caught up on some rest. I got a couple hours worth of a nap in, so I'm pretty happy about that. Then I mowed my neighbor's yard and had in my right about the time I was getting done with it, the lawnmower tore up. So pretty much spent the majority of my birthday yesterday arguing with a lawnmower, wondering why in the world it wasn't going to start. Pretty much had the mower took apart and put back together again. It's still acting up today, so I don't know what's going on with it. And I may end up having to borrow one of my other neighbors' lawnmowers just to get my yard mowed. But I'm waiting till tomorrow to do that. Too tired to have done it today. And I'm not the best mechanic in the world. I managed to get the motor back put together. Hey, Gabriel, how you doing? Long time no see. I've been wondering about you, wondering if you was all right. Didn't know if you were still with us or what. And our church has been having vacation Bible school the last 2 nights, but I could have went and helped. They've had enough people there helping. And last night I kind of just went over there to see how many show. It wasn't a whole lot, and really didn't need my help, so I just came back to the house and ended up cooking myself some fish and mashed potatoes for a birthday supper. Well, that's pretty much about how my birthday went yesterday. I know it don't sound very exciting and everything, but yeah, Gator's pretty hot. It ain't been getting that high over here in Alabama. I don't know where you're at in the world, but over here in Alabama, it usually stays between, or the last month, it's been between 95 and 105 here, with the feels like temperature close to 114. So I don't know if you count that as being the same thing, but it has been hot as crap here. And it pretty much been in the middle of a drought, even though we didn't get much, hadn't got much in the way of what you call rain the last 2 months. But what we got the other day been doing we got us almost caught up. I'm doing all right, Gator. Just working and pretty much just piddling around when I ain't working. Had a lot of crazy people to deal with at work since the last time we seen you. And then Sunday I made that video about the idiot parking at Taco Bell. Ask her. Now I chose not to get out and walk around my dad and his friend because, like I said, it was already getting hot, and it wasn't even 9 o'clock in the morning yet, and it was already 85 degrees. So I decided just, hey, I'm not walking around. Then I seen these two idiotic people parking, and it eventually led to them fighting. And then a couple people almost crashed into that one guy's car or truck. And right about the time, some people coming over there telling him to move his vehicle to a better parking spot. We ended up leaving, so I didn't get to see how all that ended. We was ready to get inside to the air conditioning. But needless to say, you can get fun at those trade days. I still highly recommend going to one of them if you ain't never been to a trade day. It's fun. Cheeto Puffs are all right, but the get the fiery ones. Now they're the best ones. I like them. Well, at least this time around, we're doing love. It's me, you, and Gabriel hanging out. Last time it was me, you, Van, and then that one guy that somewhat talked for a few minutes with us. Hopefully, we'll bring him out of that shyness. And I was glad to see my subscriber count go up. And I'm kind of hoping it keeps going up. I'm a long way from being monetized, which it's not my goal to get monetized. I'm just here to share my experiences with Walmart and stuff that happens during life. So, but if I do end up getting monetized, that's a blessing in its own, right? And cheese puffs or Cheeto puffs are probably about my third favorite kind of chips to get. I don't know if they have them out where y'all are at, but it's the I can't think. It's something heat Lay's potato chips. That's pretty good. And then the barbecue chips are my top two favorite. And then the Doritos, the Cool Ranch Doritos are number 3, and then Cheeto Puffs are number 4. But I really don't eat chips much anymore, not like I used to. And then right now I've got on the kick where I eat a lot of those honey buns with the white frosting on it. I gave it the nickname White Girls. because I forget what they're actually called, but I call them white girls. And no, I've never been to prison. That's not where I didn't have to go to prison to pick up that lingo on that. I started watching this one guy on YouTube. It's the After Prison Show. And he talked about a lot of lingo, what they call stuff in prison. And the honey buns with the white icing on it, they called white girls. And I've been calling it that ever since then. It confuses people when I call it that don't know what it is I'm talking about. But those right there, I've been on a kick of them that I eat at least one or two of them a day, which I know I don't need them, but they're just too good to pass up. Them popcorn puffs are all right. If you can find them, I know Walmart's got them. I don't know if any other store carries them. But it's those big old bags. It's got movie theater butter popcorn on the bottom part of the bag, but I don't know who makes it. But those are pretty good. Even though I ain't much in the way of liking popcorn, I still eat them from time to time when I think to buy some. And that's one place I haven't been to in a while is the movie theater. But I do have plans of going to see that new Deadpool and Wolverine movie when it comes out with. A guy I went to school with that I still hang out with. Whenever we usually hang out every other week because he works in rotating 12-hour shifts where he'll work Monday and Tuesday, have Wednesday and Thursday off, and then work Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then the next week he works Wednesday and Thursday, and he's off those other days. But for my birthday on, I think it's the Saturday after that movie comes out, me and him's going to go watch it. He's going to take me out there for my birthday to watch it. So, hey, Vanna, how are you doing? Glad to see you jumped in here with us. There'll be four of us in here hanging out this time around. How's everything in Georgia going for you? Yeah, I don't know about where you live at, Miss Fawn, but down here it's, or at least the movie theater we go to in Scottsboro. Every now and again we go to the one in Fort Payne, which is closed down right now for remodeling, or at least the last time I went over there, it was closed down for remodeling. But it's not at $10 for a movie ticket down here in the South. At least my neck of the woods, anyway. But the two movie theaters we got closest to my house is those mom and pop run movie theaters, so they're not going to charge you an outrageous price to go to get a ticket to watch a movie. And I'm doing all right, Miss Van. I can't complain. How are you doing? I'm like I say, if it would stay in about the upper 60s, lower 70s for highs and everything, I'd be all right. But the movie theater we got in Scottsboro is pretty nice. It's actually got when you go into a theater or portion or whatever, a room you want to go and watch a movie in, they got two levels to it. The bottom level is just the regular seats in it. But if you go to the upper deck portion of it, they actually have recliners up there with two different cup holders. And you can actually stand up and move around without having to worry about getting in somebody's way. And I think it's only like $2 or $3 extra to get up there to it, but it's well worth it. Because if you're like me, when you're going in there to watch a movie, I have to eventually stand up. I can't sit there and watch a whole movie because I eventually get sore and I have to stand up and stretch some. So usually when me and my friend goes to watch a movie, we'll pay the extra $2 or $3, go to the upper deck, and that way we can recline out, or if we need to stand up and stretch, they got a little area off to the side. You can stand there and stretch and watch the movie and not have to worry about getting in somebody's way. And another benefit about having that upper deck up there, the food options. And yeah, food and drink are expensive there too, but when you go to that upper deck part of it, at least the ones down here, uh, you can actually get your choice of a hamburger or a hot dog, or those nachos with the cheese and the uh, jalapeno peppers on top of it. But it'll be at a more discounted price because, like I say, you pay that extra couple of bucks to get a ticket. I got well, that's good. It was fun. I got my Dr. Peppers I'm drinking on, even though I'm currently drinking on water at the moment. But I still got my Dr. Peppers anyway. Oh, was it Bakerfield, Indiana? You're out there, Gabriel? And down here in Alabama, food prices ain't outrageous. Because on the 3rd, I meant to talk about this and put it in a video. But for whatever reason, I didn't. But me and my dad went shopping. And I only spent like $52. Because that Friday, I spent nearly $200 on groceries. And that same stuff that Bakerfield, California. For whatever reason, I thought of Bakerfield, Indiana. You was the one I was trying to think of the other day that was in California, and I kept thinking it was somebody else. But y'all been dealing with a lot of wildfires, and that's your way, ain't you? But the same stuff I paid $200 for that Friday, this time a couple of years ago, would have cost me and him like $100 or maybe less. So you can kind of tell how much prices have jumped up. And when we went in Monday to do, or it was Wednesday, because he got his check on Wednesday, we spent like $52. And it wasn't really all that much we got. I think it was milk, eggs, some more biscuits. I got me some more Dr. Peppers to drink on, some yogurt, and a pack of hamburgers. A real small pack of hamburger meat. That was like $4. 2 boxes of those hamburger helper that we hadn't even ate on yet. And 2 boxes of those Insta potatoes because we love those things. And it was right at $52 for that. And, normally, like I said, a couple of years ago, probably $30-40 for all that. I'm kind of hoping when this next election comes through, I'm hoping Trump gets it because that'll cut. Because if he is well, I hope you stay safe out there, Gabriel. I know them wildfires, they're pretty dangerous, and hopefully they'll get those things figured out to put out before they do much more destruction or kill anybody. But it seems like every time you turn on the news year in and year out, California's always on fire. I don't know what y'all got going on out there to be always being on fire, but I definitely feel sorry for you. But yeah, just stay safe out there, Gabriel. That's definitely something to keep an eye on. But yeah, I'm kind of hoping Trump. I know there's a lot of people that don't like Trump, but if you look at the 4 years he was president compared to Biden, it's a whole hell of a lot different. Prices on everything's doubled or tripled and everything else like that. And well, that's pretty much all I got to say about the political things. I don't really care too much for both sides because they lie like crazy. They'll tell you all the lies you want to hear just to get you to vote for them. Yeah, that can add to a lot of problems out there, Gabriel. that definitely adds to it. And on top of that, y'all got earthquakes. I always told my dad if I'd go visit California, but I would never live there. I would much rather deal with tornadoes than I would earthquakes. I mean, I'm sure it's beautiful out there, but I would much rather not deal with the earthquakes and the fires. I'll just take my chances of dealing with tornadoes. And, well, I guess it's me, Fawn, and Gabriel here tonight chit chatting. I don't know if Vanna's done took off on us. But here in the last month, it's probably been over a month since we got a tornado warning down here in Alabama. I think the last one we had was a little over a month ago. Here lately, they've been from Texas all the way up to New York's been getting all the tornadoes. And I think the closest the tornado warnings got to us was right there on the Tennessee-Kentucky border. And they was making fun of that storm hard and heavy. I watched either Ryan Hall or it's Max something. I watch them on YouTube when there's severe weather breaking out in other parts of the United States. And they was kind of making fun of that tornado that was hitting up there along the Tennessee-Georgia border that kind of made me mad. I was like, even if the thing's weakening, those things are dangerous. Even an EF0 tornado will do. Now, even though an EF0 tornado, I think it's like between 70 and 90 miles an hour. It'll still relocate your furniture, mess up some shingles and all, but it's still dangerous. Gabriel, maybe when y'all get earthquake, I hope y'all don't get any more, but if you do get any, I hope they're not really all that bad. And everything, and everybody stay safe. And that new Twister movie is on me and my friends' to go watch list. We want to see it in theaters, but we also have plans of seeing Wolverine and Deadpool. So if we pretty much decided we're going to see Wolverine and Deadpool because that's my pick for a movie I want to watch for a birthday present for him. So we're going to go wait for the Twister movie to come to Paramount Plus, and we're going to watch it on that. Because the first Twister movie will forever be my favorite one. Because I was always a big Bill Paxton fan ever since I saw him in the first the first Terminator movie. And I always watch every movie. I've watched every movie he's been in. And I don't blame you, Fawn. I ain't going to live in New York either. Too many people, too much crime, and it's expensive as crap to live there. I'd much rather live in California than I would New York. And, but yeah, when it comes to Bill Paxton, he's got some really good movies out there. If you hadn't seen that movie, Trespasser, it's got him and Woody Harrelson and Ice-T and Ice-T and Ice Cube in it. And that guy who played the bully on the first Friday movie. If you ain't never seen it, it's a movie well worth watching. It came out in like the early 90s, but it's a real good movie. But Bill Paxton holds the rare distinction of being killed by Terminator because he died in the first Terminator movie. Yeah, Gator, that's one of my top 10 all-time favorite movies. And when I went to go watch it, I didn't think it was going to be that great. But like I said, I'm a huge Bill Paxton fan. And I didn't have high hopes for it, but it turned out pretty good. It's an underrated gem in my book. And but Bill Paxton holds the rare distinction of being killed by Terminator because he died in the first Terminator movie in like the first 10 minutes of it. He was a street thug that Arnold killed to get their clothes. He dies in the Aliens movie that came out. I forget which. I forget which one came out first. And then he dies in the Terminator, or the Aliens movie there toward the end of the movie. And he also dies in the Predator 2 movie. All right, Gabriel, we'll be here. And he dies in the Predator 2 movie, which is another underrated gem of a movie. If you hadn't seen it, it's well worth watching. And Bill Paxton also dies in a Western. He was in that movie Tombstone. He played one of the White brothers. He was the one that died on top of the pool table. So he's got that distinction of being killed by Terminator, an alien, a predator, and in a Western. And that's not too far behind. And Michael Biehn is not too far behind him on that distinction either, because Michael Biehn dies in the first Terminator. He's the one that ended up being John Connor's dad. He dies in the opening scenes of Alien 3. His part in Alien 3 is one of those you blink and you miss it, but him and Newt die in the opening credits of it. And he also dies in Tombstone. He was one of the bad guys that got killed toward the end of the movie. And he also dies in that movie, The Rock. He played a Marine in that movie that gets killed in the shootout scene of the shower stalls in the prison. And which The Rock was in its own right. Even though I'm not a real big Nicolas Cage fan, but his movies but the way he acts in movies is so crazy and outrageous, you just gotta go see it. That's the only thing I like about Nicolas Cage, is just the way he acts. It's just so out there and crazy, you can't help but to watch his movies. Which, the last movie of his I saw came out a couple of years ago. I done forgot the name of it. But he plays a janitor at this pizza place. And it's not Five Nights at Freddy. But if you didn't see the title of this movie, you'd believe you was watching Five Nights at Freddy. But he got hired by this guy to go in there to clean up a pizza place and get it looking good for the next day. And the animatronics come alive. And right about the time they start coming alive, there's these kids that snuck in and was going to rob the place. And the animatronics kill them off pretty easily, except for the girl. But her and Nicolas Cage, the only two that made it out alive. And he killed all the animatronics in there. I know it sounds like a Five Nights at Freddy movie, but it's one of those, it's a complete rip-off of that movie, and it's actually pretty good. It's well worth watching if you haven't seen it yet. Like I said, I just can't remember the name. I just know Nicolas Cage is in it. Yeah, The Predator, the only Predator movie I didn't like of all the ones I've seen was that Shane Black version, The Predator, the last one that came out. That movie was absolutely horrible. Well, we got the 5 of us, and the other 3 left out. Yeah, I mean, I like vapes. They're expensive as crap to get. I do love them. And I'm thinking about getting some more of them when I get paid. Or at least trying to sweet talk somebody into buying me one. And welcome back, Gabriel. You ain't missed much. And Vanna, when it comes to movies and TV shows, I'm pretty knowledgeable on them. At one point, I had close to 2,000 movies and TV shows that I collected over the years. But when that tornado outbreak happened back in 2012, and our place got destroyed, and every single movie I had pretty much got thrown to wherever in the world it is they got thrown. I just didn't have the heart to start my collection back up. And like I said, I had close to 2,000 movies. And some of those movies are real hard to find now, like right next to impossible to find. And that was kind of disappointing because, like I say, it'd be nice if people would do that. But then again, you got to be careful doing that because you don't know if people will keep it and everything. But Cujo was a great movie. Not my favorite movie based on a killer dog, but it was pretty good. Yeah, Gabriel, it took me from I started collecting movies in 1991. And even though I was only 7 years old at the time, I kept collecting movies from the time I was 7 years old, which was 1991, all the way up to 2011. And like I said, when that tornado break 2012 happened, I lost all 2,000 movies. And as far as movies that are hard to find, one of them is Dog Soldiers, which came out in the early 2000s. If you can't find that movie, you can't find it on DVD or VHS nowhere. Yeah, it kind of sucked. I lost them all in those tornadoes, but I'm thankful to be alive. And with with Paramount Plus and Netflix and a few other of those apps like that, you can download and find just about any movie you want. So it's not that hard to find them. I just wish I had the DVD and VHS version of them. But one of the movies that's hard to find is Dog Soldiers. If you ain't watched it, now there's several movies out there with the Dog Soldiers in the title, but this one came out like 2003, 2004, something like that. And it's a B-rated British horror movie. It's a werewolf movie. And what it is, I'll give you a little bit of the plot here. It starts out with this couple going camping in Scotland or something like that. And they get attacked, or they're laying in their tent. They about to, do a little heeing and a sheeing. And you see the zipper on their tent raised up, and his girlfriend, wife, I forget which one. It didn't specify of which one she is to him, but you see her leg get grabbed, and then all of a sudden there's a tug of war between him and whatever's off screen, and then you see a spatter of blood happen, and she gets pulled out of the tent, and you see him reaching for a knife and a werewolf howl, and then it cuts to this one guy running in the woods, but it's basically, it's the British versus their elite group of military. It's almost like they're doing a war games between the regular British Army, or at least a platoon, against the British version of Special Ops. And what they don't know is the Special Ops that brought them in to lure the werewolves in. And you kind of follow them up until the Special Ops group gets killed, except for their leader. And the platoon finds it. They trade their other guns in that were shooting blanks into two guns that had real bullets in it. And right about that time, the werewolves start attacking. And they eventually make it to this farmhouse with the help of a lady that was passing by. They lose one member of their group that gets impaled by a tree. And you pretty much just watch them fight off the werewolves as they get picked off one by one. And at the end of it, it's just a guy and a dog that's left. And that's where it ends. And it kind of teased a sequel. And for the last 20 years, they've been trying to do a sequel to that movie. because it was supposed to pick up where that ended, where there was a third group. It was an American platoon that came over to participate in the war games, and they picked him up, and they had to fight their way back to civilization. But like I say, it's a great movie. There's no CGI whatsoever in this. It's all practical effects. And the suits that these people wear in this movie is top notch, absolutely 100% amazing. Mom was a pretty good movie. It was one of those movies that you just kind of turn your brain off and watch. And I hadn't bought CDs in so long as Pit. I think the last CD I bought was, I think it was right around 2007 was the last time I bought a CD. And it was a Soldier Boy CD. I listened to it one time and threw it out the window when I was driving down the road. But yeah, Dog Soldiers is hard to find. Aeon Flux is a hard movie to find anymore. It's one of those movies, a lot of critics hated it, but I actually loved it. And there was a lot of movies from the 70s and 80s and early 90s that was that I'd collected over the years that you can't hardly find them no more. Even if you go to a junk store, you don't know what kind of condition they're in if you're lucky enough to find one of them. But most of the DVDs I had that I collected, I found at the mall. And the mall that I went to had closed down because it wasn't getting no business anymore. And the closest mall to us is up in Chattanooga. And I'm not driving 2 hours up there just to go to look for some movies and all. Yeah, I started making my own. So actually, I didn't make them, but a guy that used to work with me at Walmart, he'd charge like $5 to burn a CD for me. And I used to just pick the songs I wanted on there because I got tired of buying CDs just to hear one or two songs. But now with YouTube and Spotify, I really don't need CDs anymore. Gabriel, I hope you're still with us. And Spotify's pretty good. Well, I have one of these big old gawking headphones like this, and I can't wear them at work. Because like I say, at work, I got a radio on. I got to keep the earpiece attached to me, so I can't have them both on at the same time just to listen to music. And, but yeah, best way to watch movies nowadays, like Paramount Plus, Disney Plus, Tubi, and at times Netflix is still pretty good. All right, I was making sure you're still with us there, Gabriel. And now, when I used to go to the gym and work out all the time, Spotify was real handy. Or when I went to Moe's, Spotify was real handy. Yeah, I don't know which. There was one band that I liked to listen to all the time. It was Blood on the Dance Floor. But their lead singer ended up being a child predator. And I quit listening to them. And Spotify completely took them off their playlist, which I used to like Blood on the Dance Floor until I found out their lead singer was a predator. Quit liking them. I don't know, Gabriel, I'm not much of a coffee drinker. That'll keep you up all night. Oh, I won't, Miss Fawn. I need to quit smoking, but between Walmart and my dad, it's kind of hard to. Yeah, I can't remember. As far as I know, he was never convicted of actually doing anything with a minor. I think he was accused, or at least there was rumors that he possibly did something with a minor, but to the best of my knowledge, he was never convicted of it, and it never went to court. So I don't know what's going on with it. It's kind of confusing. The only two songs I liked of theirs was Bewitched. And then there was another song, I can't remember the name of it, but it's him and that other guy in the band that were singing at a school about this one kid that keeps getting bullied, and then he ends up shooting the school up. Now that was a pretty. Now if you don't watch the music video to it, the song in itself is pretty good. The video to it is kind of messed up, but you know this is the 2010s we're talking about. They weren't as strict about those things. Well, I guess decaf will put you to sleep. Like I say, I ain't much of a coffee drinker. Now, I will admit every now and again I'll stop by Starbucks, and they got this vanilla bean frappuccino, which I call a coffee milkshake, and I always get the large. And the one down here, at least, is like $4 for a large, which isn't bad. And it's pretty good. I guess you can technically say that's coffee. But I call it a coffee milkshake. It's pretty good. Caffeine really doesn't do nothing to me because I don't know what it is. You know, people say coffee wakes them up and gives them energy. But the only thing coffee really does for me is to make me have to pee a whole lot. Vanilla bean's pretty good. I like it. I guess iced coffee's all right, but is it really technically still hot? Can you really still call it hot coffee? Put ice in it. You're basically just drinking cold coffee, but I ain't gonna down you for drinking it though. But yeah, I kind of feel sorry. Now back to Blood on the Dance Floor. If he actually did what he was being accused of, he should be buried under the jail. But if he didn't do it, those people who are accusing him of doing that and he never actually done it should be punished. I've never tried the coffee vanilla frappe, but if it's anything like the vanilla bean frappuccino, it should be pretty good. But yeah, Gabriel, I've always had that question. Now, can you still call it coffee with putting ice in it? I mean, I know when it comes to child predators, that's a slippery slope there. And there has been people that has been falsely accused of that and has spent years in jail just to find out they didn't do it. But once you're convicted of that, even if you're later found innocent, that's still going to be a stain on your record. And I'll even tell y'all a story about that. I forget when this exactly happened. Because when I heard about it in 2013, it was already a couple of year old story by then. But I'll try to tell you what I can remember of it. There was these two kids. They went to the same school. I ain't never had a mint chocolate shake, Miss Fawn, but hopefully it's pretty good. I like mint chocolate. But anyway, these two kids, he was 2 years older than she was. And they started dating when she was 14, he was 16. And which that put him like the 10th grade, her the 8th grade. And now the parents liked him to start with, and I don't know what happened along the way, but he had a falling out with the parents, and the parents didn't like him. But they didn't have a legit, and they wanted their daughter to break up with him. But they didn't have a legitimate reason for him to break up because there was no abuse in the relationship. He wasn't forcing her to drink or do drugs. Her grades actually improved and started going to school more. He was actually a good kid. And I'll be back with you in a second.
Wow, this guy.
That lawnmower still ain't working. That lawnmower still not working.
Oh, did you try it?
I tried it about 6:30. It still ain't working.
Did it crank?
For like a couple of seconds, and it turned back off.
I'll take that carburetor off of it.
No telling what's going on with it.
It's got some dirt in it. Needs a filter on it. It's got dirt in that carburetor. Got into the jets. So that's what's wrong with it.
But anyway, like I was saying, for whatever reason, he had a falling out. Like I said, he was a good kid. He helped the girl out. He knows she was making better grades. And got in school more and was even thinking about going to college because of it. That was my dad walking through. I was telling him about my lawnmower, or the lawnmower not working right. It started acting up the other day when I was mowing. I got almost to the end of mowing my neighbor's yard, and it completely died, which is out of gas. I poured new gas in it, and it would run for a couple of seconds and then turn off. And we took the motor apart, cleaned the carburetor, put it back on, and I went and tried it this evening, and still doing the same thing. So it's a work in progress. But anyway, they waited till after he graduated high school. He was 18 at the time. Their daughter was 16. They never had sex. She was still a virgin and everything. Even the doctor proved that she still was. However, they do that, but that's moving on from that anyway. But they accused him of raping their daughter, and they went through the whole process, had him arrested, took him to court, even and they did the thing on checking the girl for stuff like that, found no evidence whatsoever, and they somehow forced their daughter to say that he raped her and everything. They forced her to do that against her will, and he was sent to jail. I forget how many years he spent in there. And then when he got out, of course, you got to register. And when the girl eventually graduated high school and moved out on her own, she did a press release and even went to the cops that her parents lied. They forced her to lie. He did nothing to her. This wasn't her trying to cover up for him. Even the evidence points to the fact that they couldn't find no evidence where he did anything. But like I said, by that time it was done too late. It was on his criminal record. He spent some years in jail, had to register when he got out. His life is pretty much ruined. And yes, even though that him and that girl eventually got married, kids of their own and everything, that is still on his record, even though his records are sealed and everything. They can't, when they do a background check, they can't see where he was arrested for it. But that was the only thing they did for him for being falsely accused, something like that. Oh, this wasn't in Alabama, Miss Vanna. I forget where. I think it was like up in Tennessee or something like that. But the age of consent in Alabama is 16. But up in, I think each state is different on the age of consent. But I think Tennessee was right around 17 or something like that. But like I said, him and that girl never had sex. According to the testimony and all that in the jail, they never had sex. And, she was still a virgin and all. But the only compensation they gave him for spending years in jail and having to register when he got out was they sealed up his records. They didn't give him no money. They didn't force parents to apologize. They didn't clear his record. Which I know stuff like that's a rare case when it comes to crimes like that, but it does happen. But that's the only case I can think of right at the moment that pops into my head. But yeah, if I ain't mistaken there, Vanna, I think the age of consent here in Alabama is 16. But then, it's something that's ever changed. I think out toward California, it's like 15, ain't it, Gabriel? Yeah, salt and vinegar, they're those chips, or I want to move on from talking about stuff like that and don't want to offend nobody. But salt and vinegar, it's rare that I eat those chips. Those are one of those that are one of those I have to have something eaten with it to be able to handle the taste of them. Usually I'll get some bean dip or that queso dip and eat with it. And that's the only way I can handle eating salt and vinegar chips. Oh, well, I guess I could have been wrong on that, Gabriel, and which state that was. I could have swore it was California that had that, but I might be wrong. Yeah, California's smart on that. I wish every state was like that, that when you turn 18 and in the eyes of the law you legally become an adult, that's when the age of consent should be. Because this is just my honest opinion. I don't think teenagers should be having sex. And, they should be more worried about getting them an education and getting prepared for their future more than, getting in bed with the first person that'll sleep with them. Which, sadly, you ain't going to be able to stop them, but it would be nice if they were a heck of a lot smarter. It's fun. I ain't real for sure when the next one's coming out because that day that I uploaded that last riding around video when we went to Stevenson, on the way back home, the power steering pump in the vehicle went out when we was coming down the mountain, and it's like between $70 and $100 to get a new one for it. And we usually put it on ourselves, but right now the vehicle's out of commission until we get that fixed. So I'm going to put out more of them. It's just a matter of when we can get that fixed and I can get back to riding around. And yeah, Gabriel, when I was growing up in the 90s, yes, teenagers back then were having sex just like they are now, but it wasn't as bad as it is now. Because when I graduated high school, and all my years of going to school, we ever had one girl. In the 12 years that I went to section, we only ever had one girl get pregnant while they were still in school. And when we graduated high school, she was only like 5 months along. So I don't know if you can technically, well, technically, yeah, but like I say, back then, we wasn't, uh, let's see here, Miss. When I graduated high school, there were 63 of us that graduated. But from kindergarten, we have one of those as kindergarten to 12th grade. And I'd probably say all together, there's probably 300 kids from kindergarten to 12th grade. It's a small school. But yeah, Miss Fawn, I apologize for that. But like I say, when we can get back to vehicle rolling good and everything, we'll do some more riding around. And I should have started that video sooner because we saw some deer running and playing out in the middle of a bean field. And stupid me didn't pull out my phone and start recording. But I might do some recording of riding around tomorrow as I'm going out and about because I'm going to a friend's house. So I might do a ride along from leaving my place to his. But yeah, our school's pretty small, man. Now we do have some bigger schools. About it. Uh, the biggest school we got around here, Fort Payne, has 500 kids in it. North Jackson has 700 kids. Scottsboro is 650. And that's the only ones that's got more than 500 kids in their school. But all the other schools around, Jackson and DeKalb County's got between 200 and 400 as far as the smaller schools go. Now, that's like my cousin. She graduated the same year that I did. She went to a school over there in Georgia somewhere. But when she graduated high school, there was 1,100 of them that graduated out of the 1,200 that were seniors. But around here, you'll just mainly find a lot of small schools. And our schools around here actually were starting to win more state championships than some of the bigger schools out toward the west side of the state or even down south. Where I live at, it's not really, county-wise, it's really not that highly populated. I think where I live here in Jackson County, the last time I checked, I think it was somewhere right around 35,000 people live in the county altogether. And then DeKalb County, which is a 4 or 5 minute drive from where I'm at, has right at 45,000 people in it. So it's like I say, it's not really all that populated. Now, if you came through here, you wouldn't think there was that many people here, but yeah, quite a few of us here. But yeah, it's fun. It's never fun when a vehicle tears up, but that's just part of it. And Vanna, how big was the school you're at, or was at? But yeah, what was I going to say? Oh, then I can't speak for other counties. In Scottsboro, which y'all seen me going through the drive along video, they have a kindergarten only school, a first, second, third grade only school, and then a 4th through 8th grade only school. And then you go to the main high school, which is 9 through 12. Hollywood, which is one of those you blink and miss at places, has a kindergarten through 8th grade. All right, Gabriel, you have you a good rest of your night. And Well, we love you too, and hope to see you in the next video. Until then, stay safe and watch out for those fires. And then Dutton, I don't think I've ever done a Draw with me video through there, but I'm going to have to. It has a kindergarten through 8th grade. And then Macedonia. Which is like a 5-minute drive from here, has a kindergarten through 8th grade. And that's as far as what few schools don't go kindergarten all through the 12th grade in one school. All right, Gabriel, we'll see you then. And then DeKalb County, I'm not even going to begin to name off all the middle schools through there. But yeah, needless to say, education around here sucks. The only way you have a chance of you getting a scholarship around here is if you're one of those that are really smart or really good at sports. Because otherwise, when you graduate high school, you're going to pay out of money for college. And we have a 2-year college here that's like a 5-minute drive, but it's pretty expensive. But it would be nice if they actually invested more in high schools around here to get them caught up with the rest of the world. Because the state of Alabama's education system is pretty sad. And but if you go play for a school named Fife, since their head coach has been there, and he's been there for 16 years, and he's won 14 state championships in the 16 years he's been there. And every kid that was a part of his football program all got full ride scholarships to college. And he was even offered by Nick Saban several times to be part of his coaching staff. But he didn't want to do it because he enjoyed where he was and he didn't want to move his family. Which I can understand that. I'm glad he wasn't motivated by money. And, well, we've already been here for over an hour. But yeah, Miss Fawn, the schools around here, as far as sports outcome, we're starting to become more of a powerhouse. And it's kind of funny that the smaller schools around here are starting to become more of a powerhouse than some of these bigger schools that have 1,000 or more students in it. We just kind of find that funny around here. Well, looks like I hate to cut us off out there tonight, but my medicine's starting to kick in, and I'm not much of an Alabama fan as far as football goes, Miss Vanna. I'm a Florida Gators fan. Always will be. But anyway, I think I'm going to call it a night, and I'll do another live stream tomorrow. We'll try to push for 2 hours. I would stay on longer, Miss Vanna, but the more my medicine kicks in, the more interesting the conversations I'll get. Oh, now Florida's got a good team. They just ain't like they was when Tim Tebow was around. But anyway, I hope everybody has a good rest of their night, and I will see y'all in the live stream that I do tomorrow. And everybody stay safe out there.